Alright, so I took off the stock wheels that came with the AT4, and I put these tires, which are 275/70 R18, essentially a 33-inch tire. Never had any rubbing issues. Drivability, quiet, comfy tires. Got 11,000 miles on them, and I have a buyer to offset the cost of what I just did. And let me show you what I did over here. Dun dun dun! Lots to talk about. I'm going to try to get it all understandable because I just got done doing a lot of trimming to eliminate the rubbing of these bigger tires. So I went with the same Bridgestone Dueler AT Revo 3. These are 295/70 R18, which works out to a 34.3 inch tire, about 11.6 inch wide, all four corners. And if you look at the offset, okay, the offset on the stock wheels down here is 24 millimeters. The offset on these fuel off-road wheels is 1. So what that means is that they're going to poke out about 0.85, 0.9 inches more, which is what I wanted to clear the upper A-arm clearance, because I had them put it on with the stock wheels and the tires were, I mean, you could barely fit your hand between the upper A control arm and the tire. Now, I mean, it's frickin' almost 2.5 inches ish, about 2 inches, and got plenty of suspension clearance. But the problem I ran into was rubbing, especially on this driveway right here, and I just hit it really hard coming in and gyrated the suspension and stuff, and it doesn't rub. But you know, time will tell, and I'll probably, you know, when you're backing up especially, you can you'll get some, I don't know, we'll see. But what I'm probably going to do is, I haven't done any suspension work except for the Bilstein 5160s in the back shocks, but the front and the driveline, everything is stock. I'm probably going to do the Bilstein 5100 adjustable front struts to get about maybe 1.5 inches more clearance, and to help level it out a little bit more. But we'll see. So it's going to be a little bit windy out here, so there may be a little bit of a microphone wind noise as I'm talking. But let me show you what I had to do to eliminate the rubbing. And guys, I'll tell you, there are dozens of videos of dudes putting bigger tires on their trucks and gonna say the same thing. But this is what I did, and I essentially did what they did. You know, I took their advice and kind of modified a little bit what I did. First off, the front, all I had to do, again, I'm sorry about the wind noise, is right down here, I had to trim a little bit off right here and sand it, and I pulled this front fender liner back because it was rubbing. It just, I mean, it wasn't bad, the clearance wasn't bad up here, but I just used some black tie straps to pull this up. There's plenty of places you can do it, so that was easy. Now the fun part back here was a lot more involved. Body wise, I had to cut with a chop saw, cut this lip off right here. Of course, I took the mud flaps off, as you can see. There's a bracket underneath here. You have to pull this up. There's a bracket that doesn't do anything except hold this liner out. So I took that bracket out, and I'll show you on the workbench here in a second. So I trimmed this right here for clearance and cut the wheel liner all the way back right there with a very sharp utility knife. Use a new blade when you're doing that, and no problem, got clearance. That metal piece right there is about 1.5 inches from full rotation. When you rotate the tire this way or this way, it doesn't hit at all. And that's about it. These are fuel tires or fuel wheels with special lug nuts, they give you a key. So I guess so it can't be stolen or whatever. Oh, far out, man. But these are cast aluminum wheels, offset 1. So they poke out, you know, like I said, about 0.9, 295, 70, R18, load E, 10 ply. And if you're going with a 30, anything like, let me show you. Normal all-terrain tires have a lot more knob over here. These Bridgestones don't. They're more tucked in knobs. So you're gonna have a lot of problems with clearance if you get a really off-roady all-terrain tire and chunking and all that back there. So these ones aren't as bad because this right here is a little less aggressive. So it made it a lot easier to get a 34-inch, 34.3 inch tire on this truck. Pull back here. Let me show you what it looks like this. Let me show you those brackets I had to take off right here. Again, sorry about that wind noise. This took about 3 hours, and it's really just meticulous. It's not hard, but it's just meticulous. These are the brackets right here. They serve absolutely zero purpose except to hold the fender liner out. Here's the fender line pieces that I cut out. Like I said, you want to get a really sharp utility knife when you're doing this. And I used the chop saw to cut these guys out and ground it and tapped it with a hammer a little bit, and I had to paint them so they don't rust out. And that's about it. There's not much more to talk about. The ride is absolutely freaking excellent now. And I got about a 1/2 inch more ride height out of this bunk. It's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a little bit more poke out. See there? More aggressive stance. A lot more trucky. You can definitely feel the difference between what I had on there before and what I have on there now. Real nice. All right, hope this helps the next guy or gal who wants to do something similar. And we'll see you next time.